I was telling them, it's like, look, the young boys don't know what they need sometimes. It's like I didn't know, right? It's always somebody that's going to take you to the next level of yourself. So the thing is, if I perceive myself as a killer, then I'm going to kill some shit.
Right.
If I perceive myself as a drug dealer, I'm going to deal drugs.
Right.
If I perceive myself as an entrepreneur, then that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? And, you know, the way y'all perceive yourself, this is why this is manifested right here.
Right.
So it's like you just got to speak the language of them young boys. You can't become so clean, right, that they can't relate to you no more. You know what I mean? And because they don't, you know, nobody naturally is suicidal.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you don't have knowledge of self, right, what happens is you take on other cultures. You take on other mindsets. And it's unfortunately the unseen hand that have always tried to facilitate our demise is still in motion. It's still in motion. So the thing is, it's our job when we talking to the young boys to let them know that we can relate to them, first of all.
Yeah.
Right? And then explain to them that it's another version of themselves. You know what I mean? And if you can't do that in a way that they don't understand. You can't preach to them. We really in a time where as though they want to see something manifesting from you first before they even can hear you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But this is the time, to be honest, this is the time where, like, to be honest with you, this is the time of the guys, man. It's like at the end of the day,
proof, action, manifestation.
They need to see
tangible.
You able to show and prove.
Yep.
I came home with a social media presence, right? I maintain it to a certain degree because when they see it, they see me over the bar, they can hear me better.
Right.
You know, when they see me over here, they can hear me better. When they see me drive up in a Cadillac, right, even though it kill my pockets every month, right, but they can hear me better because they see power and force. They see the ability to produce. You know what I mean? Like an old head, matter of fact, Maroon told me that. He said, you can't tell a person not to eat no pork if you can't show them how to get no fish. You know what I mean?
God
Yeah,
damn.
you can't tell them don't eat no pork, but you ain't telling them how to get no fish.
Right.
Or no chicken. You know, they're not even trying to hear that. You know. Yeah.
So we add on to that. So tell me your viewpoint on the stage of hip hop right now in the community. Community, nationwide, drill music to real music.
Yeah, how you think that's impacting our young folks right now?
Well, right now, a shift is taking place.
Right.
Everything come full circle. You know, it's only but so many ways you can kill somebody on wax, like in the booth. Like you know, drill music and all that. That was a phase, but it wasn't a phase that came out of nowhere. You know, in the beginning of hip hop, when hip hop first came out, those was the children of a lot of their parents was destroyed by what they call COINTELPRO. Right, a lot of their parents was ex-Black Panthers, Nation. You know, they was politically and culturally active in the community, and he was destroyed. You know what I mean? He was destroyed. Those movements was destroyed. Right. So when you see the beginning of hip hop when it first started, them young boys on the corner, their fathers in jail or shot down or whatever the case may be. Hip hop reflected a lot of those conversations that they had with their activist parents. So you see, they were social forecasters, and they was telling you what was going on in the community. Right? They was flying all that, but it was a message to it, right? And the powers that be at that time, they thought it was just passing by. Like, you know, that shit ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? It ain't going nowhere. And then they start seeing that influence in their children, right? And they start seeing it growing. And then once they seen that, that's when they made a concerted effort to destroy it. They couldn't stop it, so they had to sabotage the message. You know what I mean? How you sabotage the message, you know, these individuals that's rapping is still in poverty. But I got the money to tell you, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and put you on, but now you gotta rap like this.
Right.
You gotta say that. You seen that happen to Tupac. Tupac, if you ever see any of his old music, even though I'm not really a fan of pop, you know what I mean? If you look at his old music, he was very political, very cultural, right? His father and his mother was Black Panthers, right? And you know, he's seen that wasn't getting him on, and you know, he had to shift the way he was rapping. But here's the thing. Everything come full circle. And right now, 2025, you're seeing the shift in hip hop. You see individuals like Amir Ali, right?
Shout out
You know,
Amir
instead
Ali.
of talking
Shout
that
out.
talk, he's
Shout
still
out
telling you
Amir
what's
Ali.
going on in the
Boy.
community,
Right.
right? But there's a message to it. There's a message, any lyrical is and is a season for that. You know what I mean? Because the people is dissatisfied. Like how much killing you gonna do on your record?
Different ways of living.
Tell a story. Yeah, this was going on in the hood. This was going on. We social forecasters, but at the same time, if you listen to Meek music, he talk that talk, but it's always like a message in it. He might talk about all the, the shooting and all that, but then it's like, why am I born in a war zone? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's taking a shift, and hip hop, the political potential of hip hop is major.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it come together, this is why you see again back to the slander, the unseen hand. They want 50 and Meek to be beefing about what? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because now you got millionaires that come from the dirt, right? The powers that be don't want them to sit down.
Right.
Yeah, Robert Kraft and Mike Rubin and them, even if they don't get along, they sit down at the table and make power moves.
They didn't want MLK and Malcolm next to each other.
Not at all.
No, absolutely not.
They didn't want Nobuju Ali, nothing more John, not Nobuju Ali and
Right.
Marcus Garvey next to each other.
Yeah.
Nah.
They didn't want the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know what I mean? Next to like, I get it now. So, well, I never thought about that. So
And let
it's
me
like,
say this too. That's cut you off because look, the thing is, the people again that have always benefited off of our ignorance, right? They understand. They understand that hip hop, like a person to listen to a lyric before they read a verse in the Quran.
Right.
A young boy
Right.
on the corner, they didn't do. I remember I told Meek that. I said, listen, when you listen to his John, what's the name of that song? Something Blues.
Blue Notes.
Yeah,
Blue Notes, right?
Yeah.
That's a no disrespect, no religion, but that's a ayah. That's a verse. That's it. They listen to that. They listen to you in a verse a lot of times before they read in the Quran or the Bible or something like that. You know what I mean?
In the book.
Absolutely. So they know that. You know what I mean? So they always got to take the message out of it. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? Once something is said, and they're going to try, and they're supposed to try. That's why these venues right here, like podcasts like this, is taking charge of the narrative.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, taking charge of the narrative.
So you mentioned a lot of like hip hop from the past and all those different things, and here we are, fast forward to 2025. Do you think that we can still say that it's the white man's fault for the things that are happening to us right now? Can we still put that blame on them? How much accountability do we take? How much do we pass off? Is it an excuse?
Damn, good question. That's a good question.
So a lot of times we've seen our elders talking about the white man, this, the white man, that. They was talking about a system called white supremacy, just happened to be ran by white people.
Talk about
right?
it. Talk about it.
But everything is cause and effect. We don't only our situation, the system try to detach cause and effect.
Right.
So when you identify a source, right? For example, I didn't culturally castrate myself. You know what I mean? When I was culturally castrated, I lost knowledge of self. And when you lose knowledge of self, now if I got the power to educate you into another mindset, self-destructive mindset, because you don't have your original culture that's going to tell you to love yourself and love everything that look like you. Right. I can teach you how to hate yourself. And if you hate yourself, you're not going to have no problem with destroying that which that look like you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you become the clan incarnated. You become the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
The clan, like you said, they don't got to come in the community no more. So the thing is a source. It come from a certain. I mean, I'm not saying, when you study history and what happened to us, don't get stuck there. Go back to find out how they did what they did to us, because it is them. When you do a crime, when you commit a crime, they bring you up on that.
Right.
They send you to prison on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they did something to us that set a course, a self-destructive course in motion, right? That's still going on today. So blaming them, I mean, identify what happened to us, identify how it happened to us and what was done to us, and then reverse the process. Don't get stuck pointing at the white man for what they did.
Right.
By identifying, an old head told me when we were studying all the militant stuff, he said, the 3 principles when you're a soldier at war. He said, identify your enemy, determine his objective, and then counter his plan. Right? Now I get stuck. Keep talking about he did this, he
Heavy.
did this, right?
Heavy.
Identify what happened to us. We can't deny there's multiple books on what they did to us.
Right.
They want you to feel guilty about identifying the source of your madness.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, we can't. We got.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we gotta be bold because our babies is at stake.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we don't change that self-destructive culture, a whole nother generation is going to come out and either going to be in a prison yard or the graveyard.
Yeah.